fact, it's very appropriate that you did the story about George Herbert Walker Bush just a moment ago, because the man who served vice president from him happened to be from Indiana as well.
Yes, former Vice President Dan Quayle. He lives in Phoenix now, but he's from Indiana, and he took some time to talk to us on the phone and share his perspective as we get ready for another Hoosier vice president. On a gloomy day in Huntington, Indiana, the legacy of this town's most famous son still shines bright. A small museum honoring U.S. vice presidents bears Dan Quayle's name and holds pieces of his childhood and time in office.
Quite an honor for a little town in Indiana to be host to such a national figure.
Quayle lived in a modest home almost 2 hours north of Indianapolis and grew up to become the 44th Vice President of the United States. As another Hoosier politician gets ready to take that same office, we gave Vice President Quayle a call.
Hello?
He says he's talked to Mike Pence several times since election night.
I told him I expect the unexpected, because that's the nature of the job. You never know what crisis is going to erupt in the next 24 hours.
What would your advice be for him as he gets ready to take this office?
Just do the job. He knows what needs to be done. He's been in the House for a number of years. He's been a governor. He knows the political system. He knows the players. He knows Donald Trump now very well, probably as well as about anybody.
Quayle says life quickly changes after taking one of the highest offices in the land.
Probably the biggest part of the transition is just getting used to the Secret Service and the 24/7 protection, because you can't go anywhere without them.
On January 20th, Pence will put his hand on the Reagan Bible to become the second most powerful man in the world. The weight of that title is something Quayle can't forget.
When you take the oath, you're now the Vice President of the United States, and with that comes awesome responsibility. It's a wonderful honor to be able to serve the American people in that capacity.
Vice President Quayle vividly remembers his inauguration day more than 20 years ago, when he swore to support and defend the Constitution.
And now I was going to have the opportunity to serve the entire country. It is something that I was very blessed and very honored to be able to do.
The 44th Vice President has publicly encouraged the party to rally around President-elect Donald Trump and says Pence was a smart choice for VP.
He's going to be a wonderful partner for Donald Trump. They complement each other, and Mike Pence will be a very formidable player, not only here in the United States and on Capitol Hill, but around the world as well.
Even before Pence officially takes office, Quayle predicts history will look fondly on the 6th Hoosier vice president.
And I have no doubt that Mike Pence will do a stellar job and be known as a very great vice president of the United States. Quayle
did point out one difference between himself and Pence. He says his children were younger when he took office, and Pence's children are all grown, so it'll still be a difficult transition for the entire family, but it won't be quite the level of shock it was for his.
It is interesting. I think America keeps a snapshot of it in its mind of the president or vice president, whatever age it was that they served, and many in America still think of Dan Quayle relative to the office as a very young man, but we're on to grandkids now, right?
Right. He has 7 grandchildren, he said. So I asked him what he was up to. He said that he is the chairman of a private equity firm in Phoenix. He's based in Phoenix, and he's also just spending time with his grandkids, all 7 of them.
Politically, he sometimes keeps a fairly low profile. You were the one to break the news last night, even before it happened, that he had decided to come here, really be part of the Indiana celebration.
We got a quick sight of him at the Indiana Ball last night. He was there. He's going to be here in DC for all the events surrounding the inauguration.
All right, so great story, Jessica, and connecting with Dan Quayle. We've got more of those stories to come here from the parade route, which, again, this will be a great view for us as our coverage continues here on air, online at wishtv.com, on the go as well. I feel compelled, since we're tossing it back to the whole team, to give you a traffic update. Traffic's terrible. You'd expect that. Everything's closed. And the weather is getting a little bit worse, colder and windier. So we'll stay connected to your weather alert this morning.
All right, it's all kind of to be expected.